This is Dr. David D. Shine, and welcome to a special edition of Starstruck as we keep our audience up to date on the arts and theater scene. The Alley Theater has presented a series of Sherlock Holmes plays over the years. These were originally based on the novels written by A. Conan Doyle, and it's gotten a little far afield from that. The newer plays have moved further and further away from the intent and the style and the feel of the original books that were very popular in the 1880s to early 1900s in their written form. We've got a new one coming up, and that's Kate Foggett's Sherlock Holmes in the Case of the Jersey Lily. This was originally performed in 2008. The Alley just debuted it. I do want to give a quick partial disclaimer that I saw the very first production or the preview production, and it may have been a little rougher, so I've given a little bit of leeway to that. Still wasn't thrilled with the production. We've got Sherlock Holmes, who certainly has to have a part in a Sherlock Holmes play, played by Alley regular Todd Waite. Does a competent job, but nothing to write home about. A little less notable is the character of Dr. Watson, played by Orlando Arriaga. The beautiful Crystal Lucas, actress extraordinaire, plays the lead female role of Lily Langtry to mixed results. She is based, the character is based on the real life actress. Socialite, became an actress and then continued to advance her fame and fortune, you might say. And from the 1870s to the 1890s in London, interestingly, she was indeed the consort to the royal family. And she was involved with the Prince of Wales. Does this sound like a familiar story today? Who later became Edward VII and was referred to by the nickname Bertie before he became king. Langtry was actually called the Jersey Lily, as suggested in the name of this fictional play, and that was because she came from the Isle of Jersey, of course. The only real show stealer in this performance was actor Christopher Salazar as the famed playwright Oscar Wilde. Of course, Holmes is a fictional character. Oscar Wilde was a real-life prolific playwright. So kind of an interesting mixing of the real and the fictional. Growing up, I watched reruns in old black and white, of course, of Basil Rathbone, the British actor, slender British actor who played the Sherlock Holmes along with a Dr. Watson, who seemed very thoughtful and usually a bit of a fop, but smart anyway. And these always had a dark and strong, suspicious feel, like, gosh, this is really important. We've got some really negative things going on, and Sherlock's going to come to the rescue. Unfortunately, many of the new versions, including the Jersey Lily, have strayed away from this concept of interesting mysteries set in the Victorian or the post-Victorian era. And what's happening is they're trying to combine comedy and drama sometimes in the same scenes, much less in the same play. This is a difficult feat to make happen, and unfortunately it does not happen well here, and it's hard to blame the actors when they're confronted with the challenge of being funny in part of the scene and then dramatic in another part of the scene. I mean, after all, they're threatening to kill people, and so that kind of gets your attention. A good example of this in this particular production is the arch villain Professor Moriarty, played by Brandon Hernsberger. He's supposed to be one of the great literary villains of all time, but the trouble is that Hernsberger cannot really decide if he's going to be serious or not, and it's kind of done serious with a wink. Well, you know what? If you're supposed to be a real villain, as in think about the Bond movies and from a more recent time, the villain doesn't wink. The villain goes and kills people and does bad stuff. So anyway, just a mixed bag here. I do not like this production as much as the early season productions at the Alley Theater, but you know, they do about a dozen productions per season, and they can't all be winners. Disclaimer, I buy my own tickets. I do not identify myself as a reviewer. I do not promise to do a review. This is Dr. Dave awarding 4 stars to the Alley Theater's production of Sherlock Holmes and the Jersey Lily. If you've enjoyed this production, subscribe on your favorite platform.